Hello, everybody. My name is RODGON. I'm an artist. I'm a designer. I'm a cartoonist. And more importantly than anything, today, I am your instructor. Welcome back to another lesson. How are you guys doing? Today's lesson is going to be a fun one for a lot of you because a lot of you ask me for this sort of stuff because you guys have probably purchased my book. So you guys have purchased my pinups book, and now a lot of you guys want to learn how to draw pinups. So what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna walk you guys through the process of learning how to pose your characters to look like pinup girls. And I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks that have helped me understand how to move the human body a little bit better, and the little things that you can do to be able to draw them into awesome, dope female characters. Regardless if you want them to be like Vikings or fighters, or if you guys just want them to be cute little characters in your stuff. Playing with the posing is one of the most important parts. Anyways, hi, how are you guys doing? So, you guys want to learn how to draw the human body really easy? The human body essentially is an egg, a compass, and a circle. If you can manage to learn to draw those, you have the ability to draw a lot of things. One very specific one that you can do really easy is drawing pinup girls. Being able to enhance the hips, taper in the body, stuff like that, comes from just the intersection between the two elements. If you learn how to manipulate those two, you can also learn how to draw arms, you can learn how to draw hands, you can learn how to draw all that stuff later. But the most important part is understanding how to draw the actual bodies. You can figure out all the other details based on whatever stylings you guys want. But at least for now, you guys will have better posing for your ladies. Hello, King Cobra. Hello, Tempest. Ren, coming from TT Live. Woohoo! Hello, sir. Thumbnail is crazy. Yeah. The thumbnail is from my pinups book. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the pinups book because I feel like you guys need to know what we're going to be learning. So this is my pinups book. It's a whole sketchbook full of pinups. A whole sketchbook full of them. Right? It's just entirely filled with these things. Now, this is essentially what I do for fun. What I do for fun is I just like to sit down and draw endless versions of different types of female anatomy. So doing this sort of stuff is really, really fun for me, and I do this often so that I can practice the different movement ranges and styles that we can be accomplished by drawing different shapes. By retaining a different style or in every single one of these drawings over like the course of a year, I was able to kind of figure out and unlock different ways of drawing my characters and making them look appealing. So it was really, really fun. And I highly suggest that if you guys have issues drawing women, especially for, like pinups or comic books and stuff like that, that you take this sort of approach and then just start filling in the sketchbook with as much female references as you can until you are able to break it down. It doesn't matter what shape or size, you can make something look feminine. And all these would start like this. There would be little watercolor blobbies. I left one untouched like that. And then I just start adding random stuff to them. And eventually they get to this. So that was that book. That book was fun. But today, I just wanted to play around with pinups and playing around with their posing. Mostly because I think I discovered, like, something clicked on my own body. And I am able to now draw things that I have never drawn before easily. So I wanted to put that to the test. And the hardest part, the hardest thing for me to have ever learned to draw is female anatomy. Because of the subtlety that is required, because of the posing that is required, like there's just drawing a cute girl is not really necessarily going to make it. It's gonna have to be like drawing a cute girl doing something cute. And it's just since I want to be in the realms of competing against people like Scott Campbell and Chris Sanders and Frank Cho, I want to be in that echelon of people. Like I will be in that echelon of people. Like I'm not. It's a goal. It's a life goal, right? To be considered one of them, to be considered one of the peers when it comes down to the world of drawing lovely, beautiful women. And it's just something that I have as a personal goal. Oh, that works so nice. Hey, Rod, super excited to learn more with you. Oh, I'm excited to teach you guys too. So one thing that I learned recently is to learn to draw through my spine, right? What do you mean, like draw through your spine? That's weird. Like, okay. So a lot of the times when we're drawing our characters, we're not really thinking about the spine. We think of all the details and the muscles and everything, but the spine kind of ties everything together. So if you learn how to control this little bone that ties in your head, your rib cage, and your hip bones, if you learn how to just use that as the connector, you can just draw circles on a sphere in different shapes. That line is going to connect all the circles. This circle, and these circles. These circles can be used to connect to other circles. Those circles can be moved in space. The compass is needed for the upper body so that you can connect it back to the body with a circle. And then you can do the same thing. Any style you feel like drawing, any style you feel like doing. That's really weird. I don't like that. So whenever I mess up with a pen, I don't go, oh no. I go, bloop. And then I'm going to use that same sketch as a basis for something else. Where's my scissors? I mess up all the time. Don't get it twisted. Like I mess up all the time. That's why there's so many Post-its in my sketchbook. So don't be discouraged if you see your favorite artists never making mistakes. I promise you we do. So just taking this into consideration, I'm just going to use this as a base sketch. And then I can use that to draw something cool. Just having that little tiny guidance is normally more than enough to be able to give you a strong initial pose for something. If you were doing like Supergirl or something like that. See what I mean? Using a very simple concept of the spine and then creating volume forward from there can help you understand how to draw the neck easier, how to draw the heads in general so much easier. and it makes everything kind of click sometimes. It did for me. So if it does work for you, then great. Saludos de México. He aprendido mucho de tus videos. Oh, he has learned a lot through my videos. Hey, that's awesome. Oh, she has a skirt. The skirt goes around. Okay. And I like drawing my girls eating Slurpees. I don't know why. It could be a Frappuccino, I guess. Spine turning the head is genius. Yeah, that's actually good. So, okay, let's continue with just different posing. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing to find my posing, right now I'm using reference. I normally don't use reference much. The reason I don't use reference is because I like to test my brain out. Not because I shouldn't, not because it's a bad thing. No, not at all, and absolutely. It's more like I don't really want to rely on reference all the time. So I constantly push myself to draw without it and see if I can accomplish something appealing just just for practice purposes. Like I do it quite often and I like push my limits as much as I can quite often so that I can get better at the things I do. That's why I started drawing with pen. I started drawing with pen so that I would improve my skill set. So I'd be able to actually draw better, cleaner. And it worked. Plus the fact that my pencils used to break all the time. They used to break all the damn time because I used to put too much pressure on them. See, that's interesting. A lot of the times the head, they're all going to be about the same place because of the sizing of things. But the way that the models stand, it's very interesting. Oh, she has heels, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. What's the cost of your How to Draw Everything book? I haven't released it. I don't know how much the cost is going to be, mostly because that's going to be tied into how much the publisher is going to want to take out of it, as opposed to how much. I got publishers waiting for me to do this. By the way, they're just like they're dying on the opportunity to jump on board and like. There's the two people that are like clamoring over the rights over to be able to actually publish it. It's kind of cool. But at the same time, I'm not in a rush, but I just want to make sure that if I do partner up with someone, it's gonna actually be beneficial for me and not something that is just going to try to be a money grab for somebody else, because I hate that so much. When people come to you and they're like, yeah, I'll help you. And then all they want is just to make money off of you, and it fucking sucks. Donation time. Hey, Whimsical Wingus. Hey, Rod, I've been following you for TikTok for a while. I'm one of Wes's mods, and you guys have helped me so much. Thank you for everything. Aw, thank you, Wingus. If you would like to be a mod in my stream too, just let me know. If you want to, you're more than happy. I'd be more than happy to have you if you're a person that already helps that mod. So you're always welcome to be a mod in my streams too. Let's see, this other foot would be coming this way. Okay, and then we have our head. Again, the spine tells you where. Okay? The spine tells you where your head is gonna go. And then if you draw a circle, about the same width as the circle you drew for your compass, you have a very general sizing for your head. when you go in and add your hair and all the styling stuff you're choosing, that is when you start getting your individualized feel for it. But that's a very easy way to go about it. Let's see, let's push a little bit. So we're gonna make our rib cage coming forward, and then I'm gonna make the booty all the way back here. So I'm gonna curve it, and then I'm gonna make the legs come forward, and then I'm gonna make them come forward even more. If I want to balance this out, I could always make this leg go back. All right. Then her little hands are going to be, the compass is going to guide my hands. So wherever my hand is going, my compass is going to point there. And then her hand seems to be going this way and then down. Breasts stick out, creating more of an hourglass shape. And by connecting my body parts, I can get a semblance of my human body. Cool. If this arm is going to point this way, it goes around and just disappears. And let's give her some stockings, maybe some corset or something, and a bra. Cool. New here, do you use reference currently? Yeah, the ones I'm using, I'm just going on reference. I'm just going on Pinterest and then looking at the poses. And then I'm just gonna use my method to break them down. I normally don't really do that much of reference, but right now I wanna improve on certain aspects of pinup work. So I am using reference so that I can improve and get more elements of posing and stuff like that in my mental library. Because if I can get stuff in my mental library, I can draw these from memory every single time from now on. So I just got to draw it from reference once, twice, maybe 3 times sometimes. And then from there on, I can just draw it from my head. That's how good my brain works. So this one, she's like leaning into something here. She's gonna have a hand right here. Whenever you're gonna draw something touching something, okay? Whenever you gotta draw something interacting with an element, draw the interaction first before you go into the other parts of your element. Draw how they interact, and then from there, backtrack to the rest of your body. It's just always gonna be a little bit better. She has breasts. Boobs are very easy to draw from the compass. Okay, that compass you draw, that's your collarbone. Okay, from there, draw a little heart. That connects to the back. That one's a little crooked. But that's gonna give you volume. And then you can use that volume to be able to draw things like breasts, bras, bathing suits, stuff like that. Compass, heart of different sizes give you different size breasts. Depending on what type of breast this is you're looking to create, you can just draw a little heart coming from there. Okay. Since I followed you, I have improved a lot, but the problem is that I do not know how to control the body measurements, such as length and the hand and neck. Okay, so if you don't know how to control the length of them, you got to play around with different things. So if you have, for example, we draw a rib cage and we have an issue drawing the length of the arms, right? And if you don't know the measurements, it's roughly at the end of your rib cage, that's your first section. And then the bottom section is your palm and your wrist. So you draw your palm and your wrist. Your fingers extend beyond that, and that's normally the spacing for that. Okay. Your hand and your wrist are not very different in size. So if you have your hand and your wrist, that's going to be about the same width. The width that normally comes across is the width of your finger for your thumb, and also a little bit of the side of the pinky. But that's normally the only issues that you should have with your wrist. This finger's longer. This one's longer. Then what a day. So handy. Been using muscular structure of the body. Hey, cool. All right. My hand is all itchy. I think I got something on it. All right, let's keep on drawing. Let's see, what's another hard pose? I need hard poses. I need to push myself. That one's good. All right, let's do another pose. Rib cage, hip bones are behind. Then these legs go down, and then down this way. And then the bottom of my leg goes straight down for my kneecap. Down, and then we have the bottom of my foot. And then I have the width for my calf. Awesome. Dope. That's that. Then we gotta come up with our shoulders. Our shoulders, and this one is pointing forward, one is pointing up. This one's covering up the boobs. So we have our arm covering up our boobs. And then this other one is taking off a piece of clothing. So that's a cool pose. Muscles go up. The face seems to almost overlap the shoulders, but not quite. And this shoulder seems to be going up a little bit. Cool. And let's draw something to where she's covering up with. There you go. The king has returned. I don't know about the king, but definitely I need to work a little bit more on some rendering stuff, just so that I can start creating more finished piece of artwork quicker. Not that I can't do quick piece of artwork, but it's more like I just need to be able to like bust out concepts quicker, even quicker than I already do. Egg, circle, hip bones, leg, calf, foot. Muscles for the back of my calf, thigh, thigh, bone, crisscrossing, that's fine. Spine, my spine is in the back of my rib cage, and that's going to lead to my head going forward from there. shoulder 1, shoulder 2, connect with the collarbone. In this case, she's crossing her arms again. So she's going to be going this way. And then this one's coming this way. And then she has boobs. Curvy. Sitting on whatever she's sitting. Nice. All right. Let's see. Let's do a little bit more detailed one. Let's do a slightly more detailed version here, but we're going to have to require a little bit of pencil work for that because I want to make it cool. So let's zoom out. Let's just draw some shapes. So circle. Any circle can be turned into hip bones really easy by drawing 2 shapes on the side. An egg will give you your upper rib cage more often than not into a compass. In this case, I'm gonna make this character have longer arms, doing something interesting over here, some interaction. The back of my compass will be the back of my head. In this case, let's just not make the head very high up because I don't want to interact with my other drawing. Ear, head. Shoulder, arm. I'll figure something out with this. Other shoulder, other arm, and then we can give her a hat. That we can give her a big ponytail. I don't know what she's gonna be doing. Maybe she's gonna be like a fan, like looking over and then putting her boobs accidentally on the person in front of them. That would work. Alright, cool. That works. I like that concept. Alright, so let's start rendering out stuff. This is my body. She's gonna have like shorts. It's just gonna go around her legs. Thigh, maybe a little bit of booty right here on this side. A little bit of booty here too. Going into my waist. That's my butt. Underneath, upper part of the body. Then we go on to the top. This is our rib cage. This is the back of our body. That would be the heart coming down and pushing into this guy's head. Maybe we give her a tank top to make it even more like freeing. Like her boobs are about to spill out. And then some sort of jersey situation. And her shoulder, 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 shoulder. Hand, arm, bicep, and then into forearm, going into my hand, cuffing up. Then what type of hand gesture do we want to make her have? Okay, so really quick tip, wherever this connects, like if you're drawing your hand, right? If you're drawing your hand and you have your general hand shape, this connecting point right there with the wrist, that is where your thumb starts. What? If you draw a circle from there, and then you just draw your thumb out of there, you have yourself a perfect placement for your thumb. And it works really well, especially when you're bending your arm and you don't know where that thumb goes. Find that connecting point with your wrist, and then that is going to be, as long as you touch it, you're going to have access to drawing your thumb. If you know how thick your thumb is, you're going to know how big your index finger is. And if you know that, now you can just connect them. And if you keep on adding fingers in order, you can draw hands. It's kind of cool, huh? So whatever width this is, it's going to be the width of your knuckle and the width of your knuckle for your index. At the other side of your hand, you're going to have your pinky. The pinky and the thumb each have their own palm muscles. So you have two palm muscles and you have a knuckle line. Those are the three lines for your palm. Rock on! Okay, so when you're drawing hands, if you want to figure out where your thumb is, draw a circle connected to that connecting point. And then you can start figuring out your hand based on that. Okay? You don't have to guess. If you're guessing, you're doing something wrong. Neck muscles go up. They tuck in at the back of the skull. Then we have our ears from the side. You probably see about that much. Then we come up to the front. If we want to figure out where the front of the head is in this position, the ear, whatever distance from here to the back of the skull, is going to be the same distance that you draw forward. So about that same distance, we draw it forward and backwards. And now we have our skull relatively balanced. From here, we draw a little bit extra space in front of this so that we can add our facial features. A little bit of space above that. From this to my chin, it's a curvy line. From the neck, the compass that we drew initially, from here, the bottom part of the collarbone to my ear, that is how you draw the neck. It doesn't have to be so bony, but I drew it bony so you guys understand. And then from here, if we trace this line back, we end up with our eyebrows, right? Our midline of our head would be around here, so you wouldn't see much of much of the nose features or anything like that in this position. What, you guys thought it was a girl? Nah, bro's trolling us. What, you guys thought? You guys thought? No, I just have I have a thick thighs, all right? Jesus. People, we can draw women of any size and thickness, okay? Like, the problem, that's the thing, like, you guys are taking everything too contextual. Like, I'm not telling you exactly the thickness you have to draw your characters. You can use this technique to be able to draw them in any thickness you feel like, okay? You don't have to be relegated to skinny women because that's not all there is. There's thicker women with big bodies, and you can draw that too. Okay? So understanding that the concept itself is the same, it's just different proportions that you draw. You can draw characters of all shapes and sizes by just simply changing the proportions of those shapes. Okay? So you can draw as big a women as you want, or you can draw skinny, fit women. You can draw anything you feel like. Okay? So I don't know why there's such a resentment, but there shouldn't be, because I'm not telling you just how to draw those sorts of women. I'm teaching you how to draw humans in general. So put your pettiness and like little like insecurities aside and just learn a lesson. That's it. Like don't always find a way to be victimized even through an art lesson, for God's sakes. Okay? Why is it? Hey, would you mind doing a quick stop on arms? I struggle with them a little bit. Yeah. You want to see how easy arms are? Like just to gesturize. Like I'm not teaching you how to, I'm not going to teach you anatomy really quickly because that takes a while and that would take a whole lesson. But if you want to draw arms better, when you have your body, draw a compass. Okay? Any body that you draw a compass on top. That compass is going to be your collarbone. That's going to be that bone structure that like guides you for your head and stuff like that. Okay? So draw a compass and then draw 2 sticks. Yeah, I know. It sounds weird. 2 sticks. 2 stick figure arms. This is the outside of your arm. So just draw volume inside. Boop, boop, and you have yourself arms. Okay? When you do that and you combine them and overlap them, you can move them in any way you want. That compass can be moved up and down, and that is going to guide your arm up or down. So that is one way that you can learn arms. Now, if you want to learn a little bit of how to stylize it, it's kind of cool. Go compass. Okay, you guide your stick figure arm. And then you're going to do this. At the edge of this, you're going to draw a ball. That ball is going to be your shoulder. From that point, you're also going to draw volume inside, and you're going to draw a little teardrop. That teardrop should have most of its volume coming in towards your body. Not around it, towards it. This is the edge of the outside, okay? Same thing's gonna happen here. This is your bone, and then the muscles wrap around the bone. So when you're bending your arm, if you keep one side curvy and one side straight, you can tell that's the bone, and then this is the squishy bone parts, like the muscles, that go around it. Okay? Those muscly, squishy parts interact with other muscly, squishy parts, but that hard edge that goes to your elbow doesn't really bend or anything. So if you learn how to draw that straight line from your arm and your shoulder, just a straight line from your elbow up, you can add your muscles depending on where they're needed. When you're pointing your hand down, those muscles pop down. When you're pointing your hand up, those muscles pop up. And that's essentially the game you're playing. You're trying to find which way the arm needs. Where is the arm and where is the volume? And if you can figure that out, then you have broken the whole concept of arms into a super simple way that you're going to be able to use in any way you want. In whatever type of characters you feel like drawing. Everyone draws them how they like them. Okay, hold on. Preach it, bro. E Black. Everyone draws them how they like them naturally. If you like petite women, you draw whatever you need. That's the thing. Like once you realize that you're not just drawing what you like, you're gonna end up drawing what you need. So if the character description calls for a like thick Latina girl with big hips, you're gonna want to draw those hips really wide, right? You're not gonna want to draw them really, really thin. So that is gonna call for that. If it calls for a athletic petite girl, you're gonna draw those a little bit thinner, and you might just give her a lot more musculature. Okay, so that's going to be the hard part for you guys as individuals, to realize that now you have access to drawing anything you want, and you have access to drawing any shape you want, any character size you want, but now you have to actually do it yourself. So I'm giving you the tools to access this knowledge, but now you have to use your imagination to be able to make it work. I can't do that for you, right? I can't teach you how to be creative. That is one thing that's really, really, really hard to do. And that's why there's, writing teachers and story time teachers and stuff like that, but that's not me. Hey, Jesu. Good afternoon, Rod. Just dropping by to say hi. Hey, what's up? I struggle with hips connecting to the ribs. Oh, you're going to laugh at how easy it is. Draw an egg, just a simple egg. Okay? You're going to draw the compass at the top to come up with your collarbone. And then this is the front of your rib cage, so it has a little bit of a dip. Okay? This little dip is going to be where your belly button goes. So if you just draw a shape and you make the belly button in the middle, the top of the belly button, the belly button gives you access to where your hips are supposed to be. So if you find your belly button, that going around your body gives you the top points of your hip bones. From there, just draw a circle around the side of the circle. And that gives you the connecting point for your hips. From there, it's just about drawing ovals and then connecting the ovals together to be able to draw legs in any position you feel like. Okay? From there, you just go floop, floop. And you connect the two. The parts that totally turn difficult is when you start adding musculature. When you start adding musculature, you start getting lumps and you start getting fatty tissue. Like if you're chubby, you end up getting a bunch of curves and stuff like that. Volume that normally throws off the way that you normally draw your character, or the way that the visualization of the simplicity gets broken, because you need to now add volume. You need to add these lumps. But if you understand the construction of it, right, the super simple construction of it, you can always add as much volume as you want or reduce it, because now you know where those connection points are. And things like your ankles, your hip bones don't really take in much. They have exit points. So all the things are connected to them. So they always taper back to those same taper points. So the stylization comes from what you do in between these things. That's for sharing my story the other day. Yay! I also like those goofy smiles cartoon girls have whenever I draw them. That's cute. Sir, how do you draw any pose? That's a very vague question. If you want to draw any pose, you need to learn how to draw the rib cage and the hip bones. And if you learn how to draw those, you have access to using a bunch of different posing systems. So you can use my posing system, which is called the SAM, Simple Anatomy Mannequin. You could do other ones that other people do, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of other artists that have their own ways of doing them. They probably teach you guys how to do them as well. But overall, I can only teach you the things that I know, and that is the SAM, the Simple Anatomy Mannequin. Let's see, this one should have long hair. Any tips for female jawlines? Ooh, okay, yeah. Let's draw a female jawline. So if you're gonna be drawing girls, again, this is just generalized, okay? This is for art purposes. Please do not go like, that's not how our girls look. Yeah, oh, some girls have this. Like, dude, I'm not trying to like generalize things. Just give me a goddamn break and let me draw and let me teach. Okay, you guys can make your own versions of this in any way you want. I'm not telling you that all women look like this, and I'm not saying that all women have to look like this. Take your insecurities, shove them up your ass, and then just let me teach. Okay? I'm not here to insult anybody. I'm just here to teach you. Deal? Deal. Okay, so if you're going to go with a more masculine or more like rugged look, you go with more sharp lines and you add more volume to the bottom of the jaw. Okay? You do this. You add more volume, you add a bigger, rugged chin, and then you end up with a more rugged masculine body. If you're gonna go with a softer look for like females and kids, you go with a very, very much less detailed jawline, more curvy than it is sharp. It also becomes smaller and you end up with a smaller section right here, which in proportions gives you a bigger forehead. So if your forehead is bigger, your character is going to look a little younger. If your forehead is smaller, your character just naturally looks a little bit older, a little bit more rugged. So that is, you know, and I have to say those sort of stuff because like people just like they get up in arms, man. Like it's so annoying. Like I'm sorry, but if I'm giving you guys a lesson, this is generalized knowledge. You guys can apply this to anything you want. You can make a panda out of this if you want. Okay? This is not knowledge based on discrimination or anything. This is literally just me trying to give you guys knowledge. And normally people understand that, but then sometimes you got to remind them. Do you have any other tips or paid tutorials to help with drawing pinups? No, I do not. I have a whole book of pinups, but I don't have any books out on that. I have a bunch of videos online though. I have a bunch of videos online that you can go reference. A bunch of how to draw women. I have a bunch of just examples of how to do it by video referencing. So if you want the knowledge, it's there. I'll have some more tutorials coming up soon for you guys. And that's going to be more like a kind of my own, like I'm building my own platform for some lessons so that I can have like some more structured lessons and then I can actually like, you know, give you guys direct tutelage. Evaluate nutritional recommendations to combat disease. Oh, shut up. Who comes to a drawing lesson to ask that stuff? Get out of here. How does a 90s Joker smile work on a pinup? Well, if you're going to give the character a big forehead to make the character look a little younger, that doesn't leave you with much of a jaw, right? So if you're going to do the forehead bigger, and you have your eyes, and you want to have like a semblance of a cute character, how do you make a Joker smile? Well, you're going to have to break the anatomy. In this case, you're going to have to extend it way beyond the normal procedures of your actual mouth. And using basic anatomy, you put where your teeth are supposed to go, where they're supposed to go. And then you leave the rest of it as open space. Negative space. If you draw your teeth all the way to the edge, it's going to look weird. When you cut it off where the actual skull is supposed to be, okay, right here, your skull has your teeth line right there, okay? So if you draw your mouth around anything, and you draw your negative space, you still have your teeth. That's just going to look a little bit crazy. So knowing where that teeth line ends is what allows you the ability to know where to cap out your negative space. Oh my God, so nice to finally catch you live. They way too much deconstruct and explain things has helped me so much as an artist. You sort of made it click for me. Much love from Argentina. Woohoo! Will this stream be on your safe? Yeah, this one is always, all the live ones that I've done, they are on the live section of my YouTube. So you guys can just go back and watch them all. Examples of sitting or bending female hips. Well, sitting female hips are the same as sitting male hips. It's just the character sitting. If your character is sitting, your legs go forward from here. From here, you draw whatever you're sitting on, draw it underneath that circle, right? Give yourself some legs, some width, draw it on it, and then just draw your legs to the ground. So female hips, just, I guess what you're meaning is just wider hips. Just make that shape wider. And you have yourself sitting female hips. Okay. Just want to say thank you for being here to help the online drawing community. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sometimes you like I do forget like how nice it is to be recognized and like, you know, for the things you do. Like if you don't want to sit normal, you can just shift your legs up and down. Oh, some people shift like sit with their legs crossed, right? So we have your hips. We want to cross some legs, thigh, thigh, straight line, into my foot, Okay, so now I have the thickness of my thigh and I have the bone of my shin. All I gotta do is draw the width of my shin and I have crisscross legs. Cool. And then let's draw some arms, doing some yoga stuff, maybe some floaty stuff going on. What do you think if you want to consider retro style human characters? What? Oh, super. Hey, that's a super like. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know what that is. Yay, thank you. You guys are awesome. Hi, RODGON. What's your method of drawing the smaller eye? No. First of all, no, there is no smaller eye. Okay? First of all, not a smaller eye. Don't draw a smaller eye. What do I mean by that? The other eye is smaller, Rod. Of course it's smaller. I've always drawn it smaller, Rod. No. Let me show you real fast what you're doing, okay? So what you're doing is right now you're drawing one eye. So you're drawing an eye. You're like, oh, I'm drawing my really cool eye. It's all detailed and stuff, okay? And then you're like, I'm going to draw the other eye and it has to be skinnier, right? Well, it looks like that, but it's not. The reason that it looks like that, it normally is because the nose is blocking a good part of it. Okay? The actual eye itself is the same width because the actual organs inside your head don't change sizes. So if you have a head and you have one eyeball sitting in your eye socket, right? Let's draw some eye sockets, some nose canals, and then a very simple skull. So if you have your eye sitting inside of here, You have this same size eye sitting over here, but the nose bridge and the nose canal block it. Therefore, you only see a partial part of it. So it's not skinnier, it's not thinner, it's literally the same size. It's just placed on the other side. So if you're drawing your eyes, right, and you have your character, draw your eye, draw your nose, and then draw that same size with eye, but consider it overlapping a little bit. So it's gonna look a little skinnier because you're missing a little bit of it, but that's because the nose is covering it. Your eyes in general are super simple to draw. Eyes are 3 circles. You can draw one eye. You can do it with 3 circles. The first circle is the circle outside. The second circle can be the dot in the middle of the face. And the third circle is that circle that goes around getting color. So with 3 circles, you can generate an eye. If you have 3 circles and 1 overlapping line, you have yourself a perfect eyeball. This, consider that your eyebrow line, eyelash line. Okay, whatever line you draw, if you want your eye open more, draw that curvy line up more. If you want your eye closed, draw that curvy line closer to being completely flat. You have access to moving both eyelids on both sides, but if you do move an eyelid and you draw an eyelid on the bottom, make it thinner. So a thick line and a thin line equals an eye. So now that you know that a thick line and a curvy line, just in space with the stuff inside, give you an eyeball, well, now you can just draw a curvy line, a thin line, nose, thicker line, thin line. And that works just as well for super complicated, more realistic comic stuff. Thick line, thin line underneath, overlap it, and you can create your detail. Generate your nose, and then draw the same thing, a thick line, intersecting bottom line, and draw your details inside. Remember that they overlap and they should be the same length. Okay? This line leads to your eyebrow. That's your nose bridge. That means that the nose bridge width needs to be determined. If you determine the nose bridge width, it doesn't reach all the way to the other eye. So from here, that is where your other eyebrow goes. That space right here is that little leverage that goes up your nose bridge, right? And then into your eye. It's like a little step. You need that for shadows. Ba-dow. So, with that being said, my friends, I believe we are at the end of our page. Thank you so much for coming here and drawing with me. Thank you to the couple people that donated. You guys are amazing. I will go get myself a coffee today, thanks to you guys. You guys are dope. You guys are awesome. You guys help me have a lovely, wonderful, happy life. I look forward to drawing with you guys and teaching you guys every day. This is the best part of my day. And it is incredibly happy, and my life has never been more joyful than it has been the last 6 months just working on teaching you guys how to do stuff. Thank you so much for being my students. If you guys want to learn more, there are past streams on my YouTube channel. And if you guys want to help support what I do have books in my links in any of my videos. And I also have access to donations and stuff like that if you guys feel like. You guys have a lovely day. Enjoy your Wednesdays. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And if I am to never see you again, have a lovely life, and I hope this knowledge helps you throughout it. Hope it helps you unlock things that you didn't think you could do. And my goal is always to make sure that you guys do not need me anymore. So if you guys learned a lot, make sure to put it to use, because otherwise it's lost. Make sure to use it. And I repeat this, make sure to use the knowledge, because if you don't, it's going to go away. So don't miss the chance to put it onto paper, okay? Just friendly notion from your friendly neighborhood teacher here. Take care, everybody. Love you all. You guys are awesome. This video is immediately going to go onto YouTube, so you can check this out a little bit later, dude. So, Mr. Quiff Dog, you can always check these videos out on YouTube through the live section of YouTube. Take care, everybody. See you guys tomorrow for another lesson. And until then, just draw. Later.